Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we have Brian's Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. If you guys don't know about this car, and the ones that know, you know exactly what this car is, right? This is the first generation Nissan Skyline GTR, right? So this is where it all started, guys, from here with the GTRs, right? So I'm gonna go over this car. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of facts about this particular car here. And for you guys that want to know exactly what this code right here is, the KPGC10, that all that means, guys, is that this car is a coupe. Because I'll give you a little rundown on that. Actually, this car here, the first generation Skyline, there were like 1,945 made, right? So with the coupes now, they made about 1,113, and this car also came in 4 doors. So the 4-door cars, the count was really like 832, right? So in all, that's 1,945 cars of this model Skyline 2000 GTR. So that's a little history about this car, guys, but we're going to open this car up because that's what you guys came here to see. It's good to know a little bit about the history of the car, as you guys are maybe new collectors to cars, or you just like to have your little display or something like that, right? So let's get this car open, guys, and see what this car has to offer, right? So let's get all this stuff open and see exactly what we're working with here, guys. So sometimes I have trouble with this opening these boxes, guys, so bear with me, right? So let's get this thing out. I believe we might have to open this side too, guys. Let's open this up. So open that side up. Let's open this up on this side. And as you guys can see here, you guys can see all the other examples of what metal die-cast cars have to offer over here, guys. So you can see all these other cars over here, and I have a few of these cars in my collection. So whatever is not on the channel yet, I'm going to show and give you guys a tour of those cars. So let's pull this car out of the box, guys, and see exactly what's going on here. So I believe we got to take this piece out right here and pull this baby out the box. So let's pull this baby out the box right here, guys, and see what we got. So this is what we have here, guys. So just looking at this car, guys, this car right here, it looks very detailed. It looks like a high-end car to me from just glancing at it, but as you go along, you will see little imperfections here and there. But for the price point of this car, guys, this car is a good purchase. I'm gonna take off all the plastic and all this other stuff. So with movie magic, let's get to it. one thing that I like about this car, guys, is that metals diecast Jadatoys, they put a lot of attention to detail with this car for being at this price point. And the thing that I like about it is that, it looks pretty nice, guys. This car is pretty realistic to the real 2000 GTR. And, this car is pretty attainable for any age group, right? So a child could buy this car, adult could buy this car. That's one thing I like about it, right? They have other high-end cars that some of us collectors collect, but for the price point, guys, you can't beat it, right? So that's what I really like about this car. So if you're wondering where you saw this car in the Fast and the Furious franchise, guys, this car was in Fast 5. This was the car that Paul Walker, Brian in the movie, was driving with Mia through Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It just played a real quick role in the movie. So if you weren't a GTR enthusiast, you might not have noticed it. But this was the first generation GTR that Brian, Paul Walker was driving in that movie. So let me give you a little history about this car, guys. This first generation Skyline was made between 1969 and 1972, right? There were two versions of this first generation Skyline. They had the coupes, which is this one, and they had four-door sedans, right? The four-door sedans were made between 1969 and 1971, and from 1971 and on, right, they made the coupes. So I believe there were like 1,113 coupes, and for the sedans there were 832. So that's a total of 1,945 first generation Nissan Skyline GTRs. So let me open up the hood, guys, and show you guys inside here, because let me get this camera off right here for you guys. Hold on one second. So here we go, guys. Inside here we have the 2.0 liter, and as you can see, guys, the hood doesn't really stay up that much. It just comes down a little bit. So that's one imperfection I can see with this car. But let's go back to the engine. This is a 2.0 liter. This is a S20 inline 6, guys, right? This car had 3 carburetors on here, guys. So as you can see over here, let me turn the car around. You can see the 3 carburetors over here. There's 1, 2, 3. As you guys can see, that's what those are. They're supposed to be independent throttle bodies, right? So what else can I tell you about this engine, guys? This engine produced 160 horsepower at 7,000 RPMs. And you know what, guys, for being a car from 1971, you know that this car got up and went, right? It had a lot of power for around that time, right? As being a Japanese car and being this light. So you know this car would move, right? So, because if you really look at it, guys, if you look at a Camry engine or something like that, those engines produce like 160 horses. And they're pretty heavy cars, guys. So imagine you have a 160 horsepower, the power to weight ratio in these cars were real low, because this car weighed like 2,400 pounds, right? So this car would get up and go. So that's one thing I like about it. And if you guys look inside here, you can see where it's supposed to be a 5-speed manual transmission, and that will be the most fun about this car right here, going around corners with this car, because the power to weight ratio of this car, and it being so light, like I said, it would handle. This car would handle. So as you can see here, guys, this is a 1/24th scale car. This is a 1971 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR, right? So you can see the code over here, the licensing code. And for you guys that want to see the bottom of this car, here you go, guys. What I can see here, guys, is that they try to put a little chrome muffler over here, and you can see where they had the little indentation here for the spare tire, right? So looking at here, guys, you know, this car, the wheels doesn't move, but the wheels spin, right? So that's one thing about this car. And if you go inside here, the steering wheel is stationary, right? So that's it for this car, guys. You know, my final thoughts on this car is that, you know, I love to have this car displayed, you know, with all my other cars in my collection. You know, this is a piece that I really like, and eventually, you know, I'm gonna go purchase, you know, a higher end model. I have other high end models, but you know, I saw this one and I picked it up before, but eventually I know I'm gonna buy, you know, a higher end model of this car. So if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button so you guys will not miss any content coming out of this channel. And on that note, guys, see you on the next one.